everyone, and welcome back to another monthly TBR video. We have finally entered cozy season, spooky season, so today we're going to be using the prompts jar again to choose my TBR for October. This is actually the TBR that I think I've been most looking forward to all year. I'm just so ready to get back into my fantasy reads, and this year in particular I feel like there's been a lot of good new fantasy releases, so I'm hoping we can pick some of those. I also have a lot from last year that I didn't get to that I'm hoping we can put on the TBR today, because there's just so many good reads that are like spooky or cozy fantasy that just fit so perfectly with October, and we're going to have a lot to choose from. So as we've done in my previous TBR videos, I'm going to be choosing mostly from my Goodreads want to read list, just as I'm mostly a Kindle reader and that's usually where I go to find my next read, and it just makes these videos a bit more interesting because we have more of a selection there. But I do have one fantasy book on my physical TBR, which is Starling House. This is one that I bought last year and I never got around to reading, and it's the only unread fantasy book that's on my shelves. I feel like we have to get this on the TBR somehow. It will just be very satisfying to have all my fantasy books read on my shelves. Other than that, I just have a really long autumn and fall TBR that I'd be happy to read anything from, so this should be a really good TBR. But before we get into October, let's quickly recap how I did in August, because I didn't film a September TBR video as I was on holiday, and I didn't do too well in August either, if I'm honest. I'll put my August TBR on screen now. So these were the 6 books that we chose for my August TBR. Of these 6, I only read 3 of them. And I think that might be the worst that I've done on a monthly TBR, but that was because, okay, for 2 reasons. Firstly, I went on holiday and my TBR just went out the window. And then secondly, the 3rd book that I read on my TBR was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And once I read that one, I did get hooked and I ended up reading 3 books in that series. Yeah, safe to say the August TBR just went out the window, but for October, I'm hoping we can do much better and stick to it and maybe get 6 out of 6 this month. I am hoping for it because I did do that in July. I went a bit over, but I did do that in July, so we know it can be done. So let's just get straight into my first pick for October. Okay, first pick for October. As always, I'm going to show you first. Don't look, don't look, don't look. Oh, is it upside down? I think it's can we see it? Can we see it? A blue book. That is a blue book. That is definitely a blue book. This is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. Yeah, I just grabbed it when I went book shopping last year because I liked the look of the cover and I hadn't heard anything about it. Okay, let's see what other options we have, but I feel like my mind is made up because what a coincidence is that. Let's see what else was on there. So other ones that I might have been interested in, we would have had Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. That's definitely got a lot of blue on it. This is one that was released earlier this year, but I've been putting off for spooky season because it does have vampires, so I'm not too sure why it was released so early in the year. What else? What else? The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This is a cozy fantasy that I do want to read as well because I think the 2nd book, something about innkeeping, comes out this year, so that would have been another good one. Traitor Queen by Danielle Jensen. That's the 2nd book in the Bridge Kingdom. I don't know how I forgot that. Yeah, The Traitor Queen by Danielle Jensen would have been another option. These are all ones that I still want to get on my TBR as well, so maybe we're going to have a very blue month. I feel like those are the main ones. And as I'm looking at the covers, I feel like this is less blue, but that's definitely a navy blue. That is definitely a navy blue. The other books are more blue if I look at like the pictures on Goodreads, but that's not black, is it? That's blue. No, that's a blue book. That is definitely navy blue. Okay, we're doing it. We're gonna get Starling House on the TBR, and I'm so happy we did that one first because we've got that out the way and now I haven't got to try and find a prompt that matches it. That was so lucky. Great start, great start. Okay, the next prompt is gonna be, I'm gonna have such a good reading month. I know already from any of the books that I want to choose from, it's just gonna be so good. The next prompt is a romance. Okay, it's not quite romance season, but There are 3 that I'm very interested in this month. All of the books on my physical TBR are kind of summery romance reads, so not those ones, but there are definitely 3 that I have my eye on. The first one is People Watching by Hannah Bonin Young. This is obviously a very seasonal romance read. It would be the first Hannah Bonin Young book that I've read, so that is definitely a good option. Or I could also read Out on a Limb, because I've heard someone say recently that it starts on Halloween night, so maybe I do just start with Out on a Limb, because that's one that I just didn't get to. And now People Watching's come out, I feel like I'm getting a bit behind. Do I start with the series that people loved first, or do I go into People Watching because it's more seasonal and more fitting for the time of year? I don't know, those 2 are big contenders. And then the third one that is one that I was interested in is If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. This one is like a Gilmore Girls inspired romance, definitely very autumnal, and I just saw Destiny post her vlog where she had read it and she rated it higher than she expected, so this was one that was like below Hannah Bonin Young for me. Now I'm kind of thinking, should I read it because it is more seasonal? All 3 of them I think could be great reads and perfect for this time of year, so which one? I think I should do a Hannah Bonin Young. I'm gonna go with People Watching. I know I should probably start with Out on a Limb, but because there's Out on a Limb and then Into the Woods, they're connected, so that just feels like a bit more of a commitment, and I feel like those I can read a bit later in the year, but People Watching feels a bit perfect for right now. So I'm gonna go with People Watching by Hannah Bonin Young. That's gonna be our second pick. This is gonna be such a good TBR. How many times have I said that already? Okay, third pick, we have... Oh no, I just saw that through the back. Cowboy Romance. Didn't we get this last month? I feel like we got this before. I'm not really in the mood for a cowboy romance. I've still not read a cowboy romance because we had Lost and Lassoed. What was it called? Done and Dusted. We had that one on my August TBR and I didn't get to it. So we could go for that one and just move it to my October TBR. Am I gonna read a cowboy romance? I know it's a very popular series and I know people love it. It's meant to be really good, so I don't know why I'm putting it off. I think maybe it's only because it's another series. I definitely want to clear off some of the series I'm in the middle of first before starting new series. But I am kind of close to doing that, so should we just put Done and Dusted back on the TBR? It's the Rebel Blue Ranch series. It's the book one in that. Because my other options are like the Elsie Silver books, and that's an even bigger commitment because she has a lot of different series out, doesn't she? So we're gonna have to do it. And I really do want to complete my TBR this month, so I could read it. It'll make a change. If we do just get the fantasies that I want to read now, then this one would be a nice change from the rest of the books on my TBR. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna just put Done and Dusted by Lila Sage back on the TBR for October. Okay, on to pick number 4. I really want some more fantasy. I have so many fantasy books I want to read. Pick number 4, fantasy. I've done this before, wishing for fantasy. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, is it upside down? Animal on the cover. Starling House would have worked for that one. I feel like with fantasy we can get animal on the cover. Let's see what we can get. Okay, so starting off straight away, Hemlock and Silver, which is T. Kingfisher's new release for this year. And I've not read any of her books before, but this was on my mid-year reading wrap-up as one of the books that I was looking forward to coming out this year because it's meant to be a bit of a dark Snow White retelling. So this has a snake. It's made of vines, but there's definitely a snake on the cover, so we could do Hemlock and Silver. That's a real possibility. I'm trying to see if these have got animals on the covers. What Moves the Dead, another T. Kingfisher book. That's got animals on the cover and that's definitely a spooky October read. That would be a really good one actually. Crooked Kingdom has a crow on the cover. This is the second book in the Six of Crows duology and I read the first one, was it back in like May? I read it a while ago, so I have been meaning to finish this duology and pick this up, so Crooked Kingdom's a good one. If It Makes You Happy does have a dog on the cover, so we could go back for another romance, but I don't think I want another romance now. I feel like most of the T. Kingfisher books have animals on the front. Oh, assistant to the villain has a frog on the front, and I think this is like a funny frog character as well. This is one that I want to read as well as like just a funny cozy read for the season, because I think there's like 3 books out in this series now, so I do need to get into this. Oh, I don't know. Okay, I think of all the ones I've mentioned, Hemlock and Silver, Assistant to the Villain, and What Moves the Dead. Those are the 3 that I'm probably most interested in, and I feel like I have to go with Hemlock and Silver because, like I said, it was my most anticipated release for later in this year, although I actually have more that are more anticipated now. But anyway, Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher I feel like it's going to be a good read for October, so we're going to go with that one for pick number 4. Okay, now we're getting into more fantasies. Is that 4? Yeah, 4. We don't even have the new releases that I want to read yet. Come on, prompts. Okay, let's see what we have here. I just saw the back of that. I just saw the back of that, and what I just said. A 2025 release. Perfect. That is exactly what I needed. This is going really well. Okay, so what do we have for the 2025 releases? Let's sort my Goodreads by publication year. So Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber comes out on the 7th of October. So that's definitely a release for this year and for this month. That is one that I really want to read. People Watching, we already have on there. Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross is top of my list of new releases that I want to read because I loved the Divine Rivals duology, and this is like a prequel to that. I guess more setting up of the world and the lore behind Divine Rivals. So I do really want to read Wild Reverence, and that came out 2nd of September. That came out. We have Fearful, which is the little novella in the Powerless world. Hemlock and Silver I already have. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, that was the 2nd book to the, I forgot the first one now, but the one that I mentioned earlier. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, again, one that I was putting off and came out this year. I don't really need to say it, do I? I think you can tell by the one I was most excited for there. We're gonna go with Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. I just love that world so much, and I've heard nothing but good things about this, so I'm very excited to pick up that one. Okay, this is getting good. This is getting good. The final book, pick number 6. Should I do more this month? No, I'm not going to read more than 6, and I do really want to complete this one. So long as it's a fantasy, I think I'm going to be happy. So let's not get another like romance or cowboy romance pick. Literary fiction. Okay, now there's one, it's technically, let me actually go through and see if I have anything on there. I think the only things that I'm gonna have on my TBR that are like literary fiction are probably Frederick Backman books, most likely. So Beartown by Frederick Backman, I'm pretty sure that's literary fiction. Contemporary literary fiction, yeah. I know it's definitely very much character driven on the characters in that town, but I do want to read that one in like December, in the real colder months. But we do have Beartown, and then we have My Friends, another Frederick Backman. I don't really want to read My Friends first though. I want to read Beartown, and I want to do that in December. I think I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat because I do want to make this work, and I don't really have, I don't know why I put that prompt in there because I don't have that many on my TBR to choose from. It would just be Frederick Backman, and I know if I choose Beartown, I'm not gonna read it because I want to read that in December or into the colder months at least. So I'm gonna cheat. We're gonna do a different one. But I stuck to the first 5, and I will be trying to read those. So let's just go for something different for pick number 6. Okay, pick number 6, part 2. I just saw the back of that again. I feel like I just did a really ugly laugh as I got that one as well, so I'm probably gonna edit that out, but free pick. Free pick. That is what we wanted. We wanted a free pick. Okay, so what are we gonna do? Let's get comfortable because I can basically just let you know all the books that I was hoping to get in this TBR. So we already know Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. Legends and Lattes was like another cozy fantasy that I was hoping we could get on there. Alchemy of Secrets. Phantasma would be a new series to start. It would be perfect for October, Phantasma, I think, but I just don't know if I should start another series. The Crooked Kingdom, I need to finish that one, so that would be a good one to do. do Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. It's another like cozy fantasy, and it's the second book to the House in the Cerulean Sea. Another cozy fantasy that would be really good. Those were like the top ones. If I was hoping for any that the prompts could lean towards, then it would have been those. A cozy fantasy would have been good, but we got Done and Dusted, and I feel like that's going to be my like light read for the month. I think I'm being more drawn to either The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, definitely one that I've been waiting to read for such a long time, and I don't know, the cover's just giving me like autumnal vibes as well, so that could be a good one. Or Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, because I did really enjoy the Once Upon a Broken Heart series by her, and I feel like this is more of like a modern day adult witchy fantasy, so this one's probably a better one for October. Do I do Alchemy of Secrets? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. Let's add it to the TBR. And as well, the special editions of Alchemy of Secrets look so good. I'm very tempted by them, especially the W.H. Smith copy, because it's like a bit darker and the sprayed edges has these stars on it. It just looks so good. So that's it for my October TBR. I think we have 6 really good picks on there. I am gonna try and read Done and Dusted. I'm hoping I read it and I don't switch it out for like a cozy October fantasy, which I might do, but I'm hoping I don't. I'm hoping I stick to it and I get 6 out of 6 this month, because I'm sure I can get at least 5 out of 6 from these picks. So I'll put them on screen now. We have People Watching by Hannah Bone Young, which is her new release. A lot of new releases in this TBR actually. Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber, Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross, Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher, Starling House by Alex E. Harrow, and Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I am very happy with those picks. There's a lot on there that I was really hoping we would get, and to be honest, my autumn fall TBR is so long, I was never going to get all of them on there, but I do feel like we got some of the better ones on there. Oh, has it just got really dark? Has it been this dark this whole time? I hope not. It's a very grey day outside, so I'm hoping it's only just got this dark and we haven't been this dark the whole time. But I think that's the sign to wrap up this video. Let me know in the comments what's on your October TBR, and if there's any of these new releases that you've already read or are looking forward to reading as well, because we have a lot of new releases here. So we'll see how I do throughout this next month, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.